One of the comforting things about ancestors, I find, is I know they are all dead and they're all buried wherever they're buried, and they're going to wait right there for you. You don't have to rush. They're not going anywhere.
One of the great things about genealogy is that it's like a story and you learn from it, and you can learn from people's mistakes and how they conquer their battles and fears.
Every day in the life of a genealogist, an active genealogist, is going to be a drama. It's going to be a soap opera. You're going to have those highs and those lows as you relive the lives of the people that you are studying.
You know, our ancestors reach across time to us, and they do talk to us. We are comforted by knowing that they went through the same things that we go through. I have found family history to be so cathartic to me personally because of the connections that I've made to my maternal grandmother in finding that she lost a child and I had miscarriages, and we had tragedies in common and we had life's joys in common also.
I've traced both my birth line and my adopted line. And I've traced the Rencher line now for many, many years. So I'm back to about 1585 on that line and still kind of chipping away at it.
I got interested in genealogy in 8th grade, and I did it all backwards, and I would urge anyone else to never do it the way I did it, which is not understanding that there's a whole community of people out there doing genealogical research, not knowing about conferences, not knowing about the National Genealogical Society.
NGS, this is no exaggeration, literally transformed my life. I started genealogy as a young child, and everybody used to tell me, well, you got to go to NGS, you got to join NGS. And then I went to my first NGS conference in 1990 in Arlington, Virginia, and I learned, oh my gosh, you can solve some of these problems.
And I was very impressed by the commitment, not just of the instructors, but of the conference participants, and of the standard of research and how information should be presented. And I joined right then.
NGS offers education for beginning researchers, for advanced researchers, and for all the researchers in between, through its publications, through its educational materials, and through its conferences.
The National Genealogical Society is literally the National Genealogical Society. They provide a forum that attracts some of the best experts from all over the country, and usually a few experts from other countries.
Accounts for the domain, for the farm, the estate, the household. It might be private accounts.
NGS is a family to me because genealogists, we work in isolation, but when we come together, we support one another, we can provide each other with suggestions and support, and we help one another learn and become better genealogists.
The community includes professional researchers, it includes amateurs, it includes the providers of the software that we use to maintain the records. It includes the people that produce the books and the CDs that we buy. It includes the online companies that now provide us subscription services.
The information age has just completely changed the landscape of family history. The ease with which we can connect with cousins, the ease with which we can post a query out there and see if anybody knows or has artifacts from a particular ancestor.
In the 21st century, I think the vast majority of people who are working their family history spend most of the time in front of their computers and may have the misconception that most of what they need to know is going to be there on the internet.
There are lots of family trees there that marry grandma and grandpa off to people that they never were within 500 miles of. But at the same time, there are those billions of documents that have been digitized by various archives, by various societies, by various commercial firms. And those are the crown jewels that we really want to get to find the actual records that our ancestors wrote with their hand.
most of the people that come to the National Archives, believe it or not, at least 70%, come to do family research. You can see their eyes wetting up and tears coming to find one of their ancestors, because basically they're looking for who they are and where they come from. That's what makes the NGS conferences so important, because they have some of the top-of-the-line speakers who not only talk about other records that are not at NAR, but they talk about NAR records.
It is so much easier when you're learning something new if you learn it right the first time. The NGS courses teach it right the first time.
If you become a member, there's a free beginner course that goes with membership. And then there are courses that get progressively more advanced.
The NGS home study course helped me a great deal because it introduced me to a whole set of records that I hadn't encountered before. It was really an important launching pad into the world of genealogy.
I first encountered NGS in Oregon. I came across copies of their NGS Quarterly, and I was just delighted. Here's a scholarly publication about genealogy, something I was passionate about, but I had only really seen very casual kinds of publications up to that point.
The NGS Quarterly was a big part of my personal learning curve. As each one of those issues arrived, I devoured them, sat down, and read them from cover to cover, as soon as I got to the mail.
The NGS magazine is more a how-to. We try to educate our readers about various types of records and how they can find them.
The NGS magazine and the NGS Quarterly are both available online and in print. And I think the advantage of the internet is it takes the people who are just starting and gives them enough information to really whet their appetite. And then when they start saying, well, I've got this, how do I find more? That's when I think NGS is the real opportunity, because we're about learning what resources are out there, how do you get access to them, and then once you find the records, how do you analyze those records and how do you use those records in your research?
I think the National Genealogical Society helps genealogists by, in a funny way, making genealogy respectable. We've got this wonderful, vast organization, and all of these people that are dedicated to finding out and doing it the right way, and that helps people that are just starting out to understand it's okay to be curious. It's okay to have this strange passion.
I never want to stop learning, and that's the best part about genealogy. There's always something new to discover.
No matter if you were born in the 19th or 18th century, you're struggling through the same struggles, and you're going through the same experiences, and it's just a matter of how you deal with these experiences.
It's the poor ancestors that interest me the most and that I'm proudest of. To see how they suffered, because it was to pave the way for the next generation.
These people made it. They faced their problems. If you could talk with them, they have these expectations, and you want to fulfill those expectations. You want to make it too. You want to face the problems, and you want to see them through just like they did and be successful in life, meaning surviving, passing on good values to your children, and standing tall.